Hello, my friends. We're a couple minutes late. We had some technical difficulties, but my girlfriend here, Laticia, fixed everything. So I'm very, very grateful. So I'm excited to talk today about fish versus fishing poles. Okay, so I want to pull up this quote real quick here. So this following piece of proverbial wisdom is remarkably astute. Give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you will feed him for a lifetime. And some people think this comes from the Bible, or it's a Chinese proverb, or maybe from Laticia, or maybe a Native American saying. But actually, as I do my research, it came from a woman named Anne Isabella Thackeray Ritchie. And it's at least, the phrase is at least 120 years old, and it can be found in a book from the mid to late 19th century. She's a writer, and she wrote it in a novel. So it's a really wonderful quote, and something that I did years ago. A friend of mine was watching me struggle. I was struggling with my relationships, especially with prosperity. And he goes, Tammy, just let me write you a check. It's hard to make money. And I said, I'm afraid if I say yes to that, I'm not going to figure out how to do this on my own. Mm-hmm. So he was very generous to offer me a fish, and I was starving. But I really wanted to know how to fish. And I think because my intentions were so strong and so sincere, I was indeed met with the right teachers, the right helpers, the right fishermen. And I was very happy to garner the tools and the wisdom of people who were willing to share with me what they knew about becoming more successful and prosperous in the world. And now my intention is to hand out fishing poles. A lot of times people will come to me and say, Tammy, can you write me a check? Can you give me some money? And I'm like, you know what? We can talk about that. Hey, happy Monday to you, Penny. I'm so glad you're here. I need to get you on this show. You have such great wisdom. Hi, Rick. And so I want to be able to hand out fishing poles. So when people come to me and ask for fish, I'll say, you know what? Let me send you a guided meditation. You know what? Let me give you a copy of my book. Or you know what? You can get it on Amazon for $3. You go through that and be in touch, and let's talk about what you're learning, what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and we'll continue the conversation. And it's interesting how about 90% of the time, I don't hear from them again. They don't want a fishing pole. And I think it's because people don't really believe in their own power. They think they need to be rescued, but there is no rescuing to be had. You're going to be dependent. You're going to be a victim. And it's, from my perspective and in my personal experience, it's not a really fun way to live. So now what I would like to do is introduce you to my friend, Laticia. Now tell me your whole name.
It's Laticia Christine, L.E. I'm a licensed esthetician.
And I've known you since you were like, what, 15?
Yeah, I was little.
You were a little girl.
I was
You're not a little girl anymore.
I was a baby.
Yeah, and you're in your 20s now.
Yes, I am.
And Leticia's a very successful esthetician. She has her own business, and you're a single mother.
I am.
Of 2 little boys.
Yes.
2 precious little boys.
Carter John and Elijah James.
Yeah, they're amazing. And you are really someone, from my perspective, who is doing it all and who kind of has it all.
Thank you.
But it wasn't always this way.
No, it was not.
So do you want to talk a little bit about some of your past and where you've been, and then we'll talk about how you got to where you currently are.
Okay. So when I was 18, 19, I went to cosmetology school for aesthetics. And then I got pregnant and got married, and I moved to Southern California for 3 years. And then we left and went to North Carolina, and I lived there. And it was there that I ended up divorcing my husband. And we now have an amazing co-parenting relationship, but it was 2 years of absolute hell before that. And then we decided to pick up and move, both of us separately but together, with our son back to Idaho, and I had to start over again. And so now I'm here, and when I came back, I had left my ex-fiance, and that was really hard and put me in a very, very low point. And
financially, emotionally,
all of it, everything. And then I came back and I worked for a year, and now I am running my own spa, and I have 1 employee so far, hopefully soon more, and just trucking away.
And you've recently hit some financial goals.
Yes,
that you had set for yourself.
Yes. So when I first started my career, my first goal, big financial goal, was, I want to make $2,500 this month. And then, but long term, I always was like, I want to do $10,000 in 1 month. And when I do it, I'm going to buy a pair of Christian Louboutins. So that's been my goal for a very long time.
And you did it.
I did do it. I didn't buy the Christian Louboutins, but I did make $10,000 last month.
Yes. And so it was really interesting because she's been a friend and client of mine for a long time. And she was getting ready to buy the salon or get into the space. And then you came to me and gave me some news.
Oh, yeah. I'm pregnant.
So you actually got the keys to your new space as a new business owner and had your baby
the same day. Yep.
That's a lot.
October 25th.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you, Laticia, about how did you do this? Because this is not normal or average. You are not a normal average girl as far as all that you've done and all that you've accomplished in a really kind of short amount of time. So why do you think you've been able to do this where so many people buy the shoes? Penny said buy the shoes.
I want to so bad, but
I
will eventually. I'm just doing the responsible thing and paying off some debt
Yeah,
first.
you need to talk to your inner teenager and tell her they're coming.
They sweet girl, they are on the way.
But you can look. You can
start
shopping.
Yep. I can start looking. That's
yes.
right. Where were we at?
So I want you to share a little bit about how you got to where you are, because this isn't normal. You're not an average girl.
Okay. Well, let's see. When I left Joey, I reached out to you. And I reached out, glitch in the broadcast.
Oh, no. Well, hopefully it'll pick back up again.
Yeah.
Let me know, Penny, what happens.
So I reached out to you and I asked you if you would do some counseling sessions with me. And I think that was the first really big step.
You were wanting the tools.
Yeah, I wanted the tools. I wanted to be able to fish.
Yes. And so I shared with you my books and some guided meditations.
Yep, that's where we started. And then we did some counseling sessions and I got more clear on my goals and my dreams. And I really I started listening to my guided meditations. I put them on before I went to bed and I would just let them play all night long. So they were really speaking to my subconscious.
Thank you, Penny. Yeah, and I was really happy. I had not had another client ever say that to me. She goes, I put it on at night and I listen to them all night.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great way of really programming the subconscious mind. And I think that's where a lot of our stuckness is, the pinch in the middle of our manifesting funnel is. And as we work more with the subconscious mind, clear out the energy of, I think, unworthiness or the trauma and drama that maybe we've brought into this life or picked up in this life. And I think that's a lot of what it boils down to. So to be able to really program the subconscious mind, you know what, you are worthy of success.
Yeah.
You are a successful, prosperous, beautiful woman. The more we can really believe this on a deep, deep level, the more our lives will reflect this belief back to us. And I think so many people are willing to do the hard work. And what I say is that, manifesting from the outside in, and we've talked about this a lot. One of my favorite quotes ever is from Science of Mind: treat and move your feet. That means do the inner work, take the action steps.
Yep.
Do the inner work, take the action steps. And that's something that I've seen you do very consistently in a very diligent fashion.
Yeah. And getting aligned. We've talked about that a lot. Just being aligned with your inner child, source. Those two relationships are the most important.
Yeah. And so it wasn't easy.
No, definitely not easy. Lots of tears, lots and lots of tears.
Yeah.
But
you were diligent. You were consistent.
Necessary.
So I ran into this quote a little earlier, and I think it's so appropriate. It's like, flow isn't always immediate. Faith is often tested. So we were talking about this, how, it's like, oh man, things are bumpy again this week.
Yeah.
And faith can be tested. But if we know the tools, if we know we have our fishing pole, if we know that we're worthy and that we are loved, we can seem to navigate through the challenges and the bumps
so much easier
with a lot more grace and ease.
Yeah.
And so what else do you want to talk about in regards to how you've really expanded or aligned, how you've aligned more fully? Because to me, I do see you as an example of somebody who's productive and usually in the flow, and you manifest with a lot of what seems to be grace and ease. So tell me a little bit more about how you've come into alignment, how you maintain your alignment.
So I set that intention daily. I use your 6-step guided meditation.
The 6-step morning process is really important.
I think that one has helped me. I wouldn't say the most because they're all super imperative in my journey. They've all impacted me very, very heavily at different points. But that one helps me to stay aligned and get clear every day.
Okay, so the 6-step morning process is really just about you wake up, you set your intentions, you
invite God in.
You count your blessings, because I think what we focus on comes more fully into focus. I like to receive grace.
I think gratitude is huge.
Yeah, gratitude. Yep. And then just receiving the love that God has and then rippling that out. And then I like to just end that process with just asking if God has a message or some wisdom or a word that I would benefit from hearing for that day. And so that, to me, I do that every morning, and I do feel like it does keep me aligned.
Yep.
And something else I'd love to hear that you had shared, it's like you have your little boy, Carter.
Yes.
He likes the guided meditations.
He loves them. He loves the voice.
He calls me the voice.
He calls her the voice.
Can we listen to the voice
Can we listen
tonight?
to the voice tonight?
And his favorite was sovereignty.
Yep.
Surrender and sovereignty, which are some pretty high-minded meditations.
Yes.
Which are really about letting go of anything and everything, consciously or subconsciously, that's not serving you, at least for the time of the meditation, and lining up with your soul so that you can receive the blessings.
And the God box. That's the other thing that I think has really helped me to manifest where I am.
Okay, talk about that and how you use it and why you think it works.
Oh, well.
This is my God box, actually.
We
I
love
didn't even know you were
Tammy's
gonna bring
God
this up.
box.
My inner child made this.
Yes.
Ooh, there's something in there.
Ooh, maybe it's a letter.
It
a
is
letter for letter.
It is a letter. So it's just a little fun thing that I created. And did you make your own?
I haven't made one. Mine's visual.
I'm going to do a God box class. I'll invite you.
Yeah. Okay. Are those Lisa Frank stickers?
Yes.
So cute. So the God box, I think, is really important because anytime I'm struggling with a decision, thoughts, situations, money, I put it in the God box immediately. And that just, for me, it's a visual thing. There's a whole, which meditation has the God box in it? Surrender. So we listen to that one a lot. We surrender a lot of things to the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. And I think just whatever your highest intention for me is what I'm going to accept in this situation. And I think that just helps me to get through whatever it is I need to get through.
And I found as I've done this, and I want to hear what you experience, that sometimes things work out in ways that are completely unexpected.
Yeah.
It's like people go, how'd you do that? I didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
So yeah, how did you manifest this spa? How did you have a baby and do this spa thing?
So my little tequila baby, he's the sweetest, cutest thing in the whole wide world. But as soon as I got pregnant with him, I was like, Tammy, this is God's baby. Like, this is God's baby. Shouldn't have happened. And here he is. So we did a lot of meditations. And I just was pregnant and I was in this small room and I was renting my room and it was great, but it wasn't where I wanted to be. And so I was like, man, how great would it be if I just had more space? I just need more space to grow. And then all of a sudden there was this opportunity for more space. And I was like, I don't know, it's more money. I don't know if I can.
And you were really on the fence with that. You really struggled with it. It's like, I don't think I can do this. I said, you probably can't on your own.
Right.
But with God, all things are possible. Maybe we ask God his opinion for you.
Yep.
And then just settle back, put it in the God box, surrender it, settle back, and then look for the red flags and green lights.
And that's what we did.
There were a lot of green lights too.
Yep.
So you were ushered on this track that wasn't necessarily of your own
volition. Yeah. I mean, I knew what I wanted long term, but I didn't think it was going to be like, here you go.
And it happened quickly.
It happened very quickly.
So we do have to participate, but I do also sense that there is a friend and our creator that wants to help us and support us and create with us and through us.
Yeah.
But we have to make that relationship a priority, right?
I think so. I think being in alignment with your inner child, making sure that they're always okay when you're angry, when you're sad, when you're upset, checking in, and then really just surrendering it all to God, making sure that he knows that you want what he wants for you.
That you trust that.
Yeah.
That you trust that you are loved, that you're not doing it alone. And
that's not to say you don't have your own goals and dreams and visions for your life and you just leave it up to chance. No, you have to put those things out there.
You have to participate.
Yeah.
And I do think, you've probably, if you've hung out with me at all before, you've heard me say this. I love this. I know you've heard this. If God is your co-pilot, switch seats.
Yes. I don't drive anymore.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And when I've gotten in trouble recently because I've had some challenges these last couple of weeks, I was like, man, I got back in the driver's seat.
Yep.
It's such a bad habit. But I think we also have to have compassion for ourselves because as human beings, that's what we're hardwired to do.
Mm-hmm.
We think we have to do this alone. We have to do this on our own. And that's, again, the epitome of ego or edging God out. I've got this. I'm going to do this. I've got to make this happen. I've got to be in control. If I don't do it, it's not going to get done. But I found that that's not the most effective or productive or fun way to create a prosperous, joy-filled life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just how it's worked for me.
Yeah. Switch seats.
Yeah, switch seats. So what I would like to say, if you're hanging out with us here today and this is interesting at all to you or appealing at all, I would like to gift you with my surrender guided meditation. All you have to do is ask me. Yeah, you had to pay for it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It was worth every dang dime.
Every single penny.
Another question I want to ask you, Laticia, is how many sessions do you think we've had?
Oh, let's see. We did the original 6. That was when I left Joey. And then when I moved back we did a couple over the phone. So probably 8 while I was in North Carolina. And then another 6 when I came back, right?
So it hasn't been it's been maybe 20?
And those were years apart.
Yeah, it's been maybe 20 altogether.
Like 12, 15.
Okay, maybe even less than that.
Yeah.
And what I've said to her is, I just love that you're not like, oh my God, I have to have an appointment with you. She's got the tools. She goes, I've got the tools. I know what I need to do. Sometimes she'll text me and I'm happy to have a conversation with her. And she's like, maybe it works better for me because I have the ability to text with you. And I'm like, everybody that works with me has that. It's not, but do you want the tools? Do you want to stand up? Do you want to be prosperous? But my intention is to support and empower people so they're not dependent on me.
Yeah.
So I have peers, I have friends.
Yeah.
And I want that for anybody that wants that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be in a long-term relationship with my clients. I just don't. I don't want people dependent on me. I want them fishing.
Yeah.
I want them fishing. You're fishing.
Yeah.
And you're really rocking
And anytime I do reach out, you're like, this meditation. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have that one. Let's go. Sorry. Thank you.
Sometimes we do need a little support or just a little constructive criticism, or we all have blind spots and it's good to get the feedback from somebody who maybe knows the lay of the land a little bit. It's like, okay, this is maybe what you're not seeing or maybe what you benefit from considering, but also turn inward, ask your heart or higher self or source what your opportunity is, what the lesson is. And, that's the other thing. I hope I've given you the lay of the land of your own inner reality.
I think so.
Yeah. So it makes the journey a lot more clear and grace-filled and joyful and prosperous.
Yes.
And so again, if you would like the gift of my surrender meditation, just let me know on the thread or private message me. You don't have it, Penny? Well, we have to fix that. I'll send it right over to you. Just either private message me your email address or in the thread here, and I will gift it to you. And if it resonates for you, you can create a God box. And I've talked about this before. You can buy a box. You can buy a little mirrored box. You can get a shoe box. It can be anything, just something. The subconscious mind loves ceremony. So if you can actually have a tangible one, you could also use one in your mind, but it's nice to have an actual one.
Yeah.
And when I do my meditations, I always see this one because my inner child thinks it's cute. It makes her happy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be something expensive. It doesn't have to be something super special. It just needs to be something that calls to your heart. And again, you can use your imagination. You can create one. You can use a shoebox. But it is helpful to actually have, at least in your mind, a place that you can put your problems, challenges, discomforts, questions, doubts, fears, things you're grateful for. You can put those in the God box too.
Yep.
And just say, I'm going to take a breath. It's in your hands and I'm just going to relax and I'm going to trust that you love me. And I think a lot of the work really does come down to trusting that we are indeed loved, adored. The more I know this, the more miracles show up in my life. I was having a conversation with God the other day. I said, God, thank you so much for taking such good care of me. I just can't believe the miracles and the blessings and the support and the synchronicity. And he goes, Tammy, I always did.
Yeah.
You just didn't believe it.
Right.
So you couldn't see it. And now I can look back at those things that were so challenging and so hard and so awful, how they were really in my best interest for my highest good. Everything has always been in service to me. Everything has always been in service to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's true whether things are challenging or good. But the more we know this, the more we can navigate through our discomfort and challenges and get back to that place of peace and grace and ease and alignment and miracles and joy.
Yes.
That's my experience anyway.
Mine too.
And I'll always say, cherry pick, take what works for you. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe Laticia.
No.
This is just what's worked for us. And then, take what works for you, leave the rest. And I think all of us are maybe wired a little bit differently. So certain things will resonate for some people and not others, and that's okay. Just bring it through your own filter. What feels good, what resonates, what seems like truth. And then if it doesn't, don't
let it go.
Use that in your toolbox. Put the tools in your toolbox and use those that work. And for me, being a hypnotherapist, that's been one of the greatest, most significant, empowering tools. And I'm glad they've resonated for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guided meditations are...
And they're easy.
They're so easy.
There's nothing to do. You just relax and listen.
Go to sleep.
Just sleep to it. It's wonderful. So, Penny, agree completely. We're hardwired for symbolic behavior. I think that is so true. There's I think Joseph Campbell said this. There's an invisible realm that our visible realm is built upon. Like physical world reality is built on an invisible realm. And as we take responsibility for our inner realm, our invisible realm, our outer reality, our lives can shift and change. And that, again, is the whole meaning of the subtitle of my books, manifesting from the inside out. You take responsibility for the in here through imagination, visualization, creativity, hypnosis. I right away started to see God winks.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, if I stop meditating for even a week, 2 weeks, sometimes, as soon as I start getting those pebbles, bricks and stones thrown at me, I'm like, oh, time to go meditate.
Time to get back in there and
instantly, especially with my prosperity meditation. I have to say that one is instantaneous for me. Yeah.
Well,
next day.
Yeah. You've done some really good stuff around your prosperity.
Yeah.
It's been remarkable. It's like, oh, I can't even believe. Well, I can believe. I'm not going to say I can't. I can.
Yeah.
So Allie says something really good here. I agree that God's good all the time. We just forget to plug in.
Yep.
That's a quotable quote, Allie. That is so
actually
true. So if things are bad, plug in. And I've gotten to the point where things are good, stay plugged in.
Yes.
Because then it's like, and Penny will say this, how good can you stand it to get? And sometimes I've found the better, when things start to get to my upper limits and I start to freak out, and I think everybody does this, we can start to back off or sabotage because we don't believe we're actually worthy. We have that inner container for how good can we stand it to get.
Or we've never seen it before. We haven't had someone model it.
We don't
for
have
us.
that comparison, or we don't have that person modeling it. And sometimes it is good to look at role models. And a lot of people say that, you're my role model, Tammy, because I haven't experienced this. But Oprah was my role model.
Right.
She's prosperous, she's spiritual, and I have others as well. We can have it all, but we need to know that we can. A lot of people say, I have to have either or. What if you could have both? Penny, what if you can have money too? Penny would say, I am prosperous because I have this and I have that and I have freedom. I said, but what if you could have money too? She was like,
sign me up.
I've never seen her speechless before.
Oh.
Does not compute. But she's done some meditations. She tithes. That's been a big one for her, I know. And for me as well. Tithing really helps to expand our prosperity container. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I'll send you that guided meditation. So we're right at 24 minutes, and I don't want to keep you all day long. We're so honored that you hung out with us. There's my Penny laughing. Tonda's here with us, and we have some really Debbie, and you probably don't know Romper Room, you're too young. And there's Shirley, and there's Devin, and there's Carol, and there's Anna Butler, and there's Debbie, and Allie, and Meg, and Richard Skaggs. I dated him in college. Hi, Richard. How are you? There's Carla and Rick and Carol. Oh my gosh, this is such a great group. I wish we were all sitting in a big circle together, singing Kumbaya and doing guided meditations.
That sounds fun.
Doesn't that sound fun?
Yeah.
So just now, we're just sending you big energy hugs and blessings from our heart to yours. And again, if you want to receive the Surrender Guided Meditation, please be in touch with me. I'll gift that to you. And if you need a facial or eyelashes or to be nurtured, well, you need to live kind of near Boise. Now, where's your location?
So I'm on Linder and Pine in Meridian.
Okay.
Yep.
And yeah, so if you're in this area, this is an exquisite way to spend a day that's nurturing and healing. And she also does a lot of conscious conversation if you want to speak. If not, maybe she'll play guided meditation and you can just like zone out. And
I can do that, or I have spa music.
And that's whatever you want. She's of service to whoever who's in her space, and I hope to be as well. So I hope you're getting some value and some ideas here for your journey, some tools here that you can pick up and start to experiment with and explore. And again, if you want to receive the Surrender Guided Meditation, be in touch. I will get that right over to you, and I would be really interested in hearing your experience of it. If you see any God winks or experience any kind of like relief or peace or grace or synchronicity, I love hearing about that. Revelations, epiphanies, awarenesses, learnings, healings is my favorite thing to hear from my family, from my friends, from my little sisters, my daughter. I'm Auntie Tammy to a lot, so be Auntie Tammy to you too if you like. Anything else, Laticia?
I think we're good.
Yes, we are good. And so are you. I hope you know that you're good and that you're loved. And if you don't know that, I hope you're opening mind and heart to receive that. And if you do know that, it's even more. So just keep expanding in your belief of that, and your life will reflect it back to you, because that's how this work works. So be in touch. I love you. And we'll see you again next Monday. Bye for now.